Yo, what's up guys, it's Micmic, and today I have some Dairy's First Room. The ending's pretty funny, so keep an eye out for that. But yeah, I want to make another commentary today on the competitive nature of YouTube and Twitch also, but mainly YouTube because that's what I know best. And this is kind of a response to Keemstar's video, so if you didn't see that, I'll link it in the description. He made a video talking about how the COD community is slowly dying, which everybody knows that. But he says mainly from two things. One, for the obvious reason that the last 2 or 3 Call of Duties have been substandard to the older Call of Duties. And that's mainly, I think, because Treyarch and the other developers, not Treyarch, but the Treyarch's the only one that's doing it right, but the other developers are trying to like introduce all these new features to us because they don't want like Call of Duty to be the same repetitive game, but in reality it is the same game, and the new features they're introducing do not make the game better, they most of the time make it worse. Like Advanced Warfare is fun for the start just because there were new features, but then like it's obviously not as fun as other Call of Duties in the past. And so that's part of the reason that just the games are getting worse than other years. But at the same time, it's also because the YouTube has becoming like more like elitist, social kind of like social elitist, where like these large channels are only talking and only collaborating with other large channels and their friend group. So for example, I'll take FaZe Clan because they're like the largest Call of Duty channel out there, and like they're only like playing with their clan members, which they obviously should be. But the problem is they should do some kind of like they should have some kind of creative way to promote the smaller channels at the same time. And like Keemstar kind of called out FaZe Rain because he's the most subscribed sniper right now with 2 million, and like you see him like he never really does anything like relate, even like with his subscribers. Like you'd expect like a channel as big as that, they do something like where they'd actually include subscribers in the video, but he's really just focused on making his usual content. And now like a lot of the channels have becoming more vlog based too, so it's like if I was that big, like I'd definitely be focused on trying to get as many of my fans actually like on my channel as possible, along with like new talents. That's a big thing, like new talents. And in part I think it's also because of two reasons. One, maybe that these larger YouTube channels are like scared to take away some of their audience from their channels, which doesn't make a lot of sense. And this is where I'll go into Twitch, because Twitch, that actually does make sense. Twitch is much more of like a business, honestly, because you're competing with all the other streams at the same time. They're streaming with you, and you're trying to compete for the audience, because let's face it, like you can pull up multiple streams, but you can only have your attention to one stream really. And so that's much more like competitive based. But with YouTube, it's like sending like some of your fan base to other channels or promoting other channels, that doesn't mean you're gonna lose views or anything. You're only gonna lose views if you start producing, if your content becomes like lower quality than it has been. That's like really the only way you lose views, is if you yourself become less entertaining. Like you can always become more entertaining, but becoming less entertaining from promoting channels, that doesn't really make any sense. And the second part is that I think that these larger channels just are not spending any time trying to find smaller channels, like, because if you're that big, like it is pretty busy having a channel that big and worrying about all the getting the content up on time and all that. But like, I mean, so I don't want to call it like just blatant laziness, but at the same time, like they should be spending time trying to help out other channels, because obviously without the people that help them out, they wouldn't have been there. And like you can almost rarely anyone makes it by themselves, few exceptional cases. And so a lot of the channels, the larger scale channels, like in the 100,000 subscriber range, a lot of these channels have honestly been disappearing that used to help out the smaller guys. Like for zombies, I'll use Yodi Slayer as the example, where he uploaded Relax and Mato Master. We can obviously see the effects that helped their channels grow substantially. And there were a few other guys, like Keemstar talked about that guy who camped, which I was surprised that Keemstar and that guy who camps actually knew each other pretty well, I guess, because obviously that guy who camps kind of took part in the zombies community for a while and helped get the zombies community more recognition, just from from the views that zombies is kind of a mini game within Call of Duty to more like mainstream, like, oh, this could be like an entire like you could have channels that only do zombies. He really helped like expose zombies itself to like the multiplayer audience, I guess. And then you see like some of the largest YouTube channels out there, like Vanos Gaming, like his crew, like, it's very kind of like this social elitist type of mentality where they only play with the people in their videos and they never really interact with many of their fans, like maybe through social media, because yeah, that's really simple, but like, and actually like getting your fans like noticed or promoting some of your viewers and followers, like, I don't know, you just don't really see that anymore, and it's hurting the community definitely. A lot of smaller channels are like unmotivated or going over to Twitch because Twitch is easier to get started up with a fan base. Obviously, if you're doing something unique, it's a lot easier to get started up with a fan base than YouTube. So that's where we're seeing like this slow decline of the COD community on YouTube, and yeah. So that's pretty much it for the commentary. You'll see right here, I mess up. I think that I'm on the last 2 dogs, but I didn't know that because I was last alive, so there could have, or the last 3 right now, and so there could have been more spawning, so yeah, I die. Yeah. It's unfortunate because we could have obviously gotten to the next dog round and all that. So yeah, that's it. I'm Micmic, and I'm out. I got raped!